I don't know. It feels even better because it is a peer-based group, and everyone in that room, they're our friends. And so, to have your friends support you in that way just means the world, honestly.
I think particularly also this is a room full of people who really know what this job is like to do. So they know the experience. They know the 3 a.m, pounding keys on a computer, like not getting anything out of it. So for that, I think it particularly, for people who know, it's a wonderful thing to be able to get this.
Yeah. I personally think that there is no difference between a composer for film, television, games, the concert stage. Composer is a composer. It's a person that gravitates towards using music to express their feelings, their emotions. But yes, it is very important that this particular genre of composing music be recognized, because it's come such a long way. Even in the time that I've worked in games, it's come leaps and bounds. I think the scores are on par with any film scores that are being produced on a scale, on a budget, just on the instrumentation, using the greatest musicians in the world to record these scores. It's really just, it needs to be recognized. It's important. And the fans, I believe, also, there's so many game fans. There's so many gamers in the world now. So I think it's very important for them as well to start seeing this medium recognized.
Yeah, totally. It's particularly, I think, also that video games have just become this cultural phenomenon and they've always been that, but like particularly in the last 10 years, and particularly in the pandemic, it's sort of grown into something even bigger. And so, and the canvas that they offer a composer is just incredible. And what we're afforded the ability to do, particularly, with thanks to Steve Schnurr and EA, and that they've allowed us to play on a scale that I just don't think you would have even thought possible. Certainly not 20 years ago, maybe not even 10 years ago. So that for us is just incredible.
At the core of it, music is a collaborative art form. Throughout history, it's people getting together and making music together. And I think that doesn't have to stop on the stage. The creation of the music in the composing realm, could also be a collaboration. And Stephen and I, we gelled instantly, and with games, there's so much music as well. So it helps having a partner along that journey, so you can bounce ideas back and forth. You're on a project for a very long time. This game, what would you say?
3 years.
3 years in the making. So that would be a lot of alone time as a composer. Yeah. So it's really great being able to have somebody to call up and bounce ideas back and forth on, and
we
trade
themes. We bounce off each other. I think it's really interesting, particularly with these sort of size projects where you have a lot of characters with a lot of arcs, and there's times where they go through big there's characters we've had start in really sort of dark places and go the other way, and we've had characters start in really not dark places and then sort of dive into the deepest pits of despair. And so to actually have someone else be able to take your themes and be able to say, here's the version of this that takes you in at a super evil place, or a super dark place, or a super bright place, or happy place. That I think is really fascinating. And like almost all of my favorite versions of any tune that I had a hand in is probably his versions of it.
And likewise, honestly, it's really cool to have somebody take a grain of an idea you had and run with it and see what they come up with. And we've been able to do that consistently on this project and its predecessor. For Battlefront 1, the actual direction I was given was, we'd like you to write the B-side to the original scores for the films. So it needed to fit right in with that original sort of sound that was created by John Williams. With this game, because we have a completely unique storyline within the franchise, we had a bit more sort of, the chance to sort of stretch out and try new things and really grow the music and sort of take it to new realms.
Yeah, no, particularly also with this one, I think we have a story that really asks a lot of questions about things that weren't necessarily questioned in the films so much, in Star Wars. And so particularly about, this game, I think really is all about the idea of, when you've lost, you might as well just sort of go home. And when you've there's a character at the very beginning of Jedi Survivor says to Cal, our main character, says, well, like, why are you even bothering? The Empire's the Empire, they've won, everyone's won, the Jedi are no more. And that's really the crux of the heart of the emotional core of the game that we're trying to find the music of. And that's, I think, the amazing thing about games now is that they're asking deep, weighty questions like that, and sort of asking, very built on a very emotional base for a story, that, we're so far beyond the games of 25, 30 years ago, which couldn't ask those questions. And exactly. the experiences that now people can have emotionally from playing a game are just incredible.
Yeah.
I'm kind of doing it right now, actually. One of them, I like Star Wars and Star Trek were both from the last year, were things that I always wanted to do. I'm delving into the Marvel world now, with Captain America. But actually, yeah, I think I would sort of, part of me would quite like to sort of go and just do a very little romantic comedy, like a little working title romantic comedy with 10 minutes of music in it. Because we do these massive 4-hour projects, and it's sort of, it's like the flip side of the coin. But no, it's immensely fun, and we love it. So it's great. But variety is the spice of life. So that's I think that's all I'm after.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I guess it's sort of twofold. I would love to work on another Star Wars title, but maybe, a film or television show, just because I feel like I've spent about a decade or more sort of developing my own aesthetic within this franchise, and I'd love to be able to develop that further. But also just anything, for example, I worked on the Chinese blockbuster movies, and it was one of the most fascinating experiences I've had, because I got to dig into a culture I knew very little about, and a musical culture, and learn about a culture's music and their history. And so any project that would give me the ability to learn more, because I feel like as a composer, sort of my lot in life is to be a student of music forever.
And he's doing Indiana Jones as well.
Oh, there's that
really
too.
Good.